Level 1. The Blueprint of Lack. Your grandfather fixed the same refrigerator 3 times. Not because he couldn't afford a new one, because repairing something broken felt more virtuous than replacing it. That's the religion you were born into. The holy trinity of scarcity. Don't waste. Be grateful. Who do you think you are? Nobody sat you down for this lesson. You learned it from the silence. From the way your mother compared prices for 20 minutes in the grocery aisle. From the way your father said, "must be nice," whenever he saw someone succeeding. That phrase, "must be nice," was the ceiling. It disguised envy as wisdom. It taught you that wanting more is morally suspicious. You grew up in a house where the future was a threat, not a promise. Retirement wasn't a goal. It was a fantasy people in magazines had. Your family didn't invest. They survived. And survival is a full-time job that pays nothing. You absorbed this so deeply that for the first 20 years of your life, you thought ambition was a personality flaw. You thought rich people were either lucky or evil. You never considered they might just be deliberate.
Level 2. The Fracture. You are 19, maybe 21, sitting on a floor somewhere, probably your childhood bedroom. The wallpaper is peeling. You're watching something on a cracked phone screen, and you hear a sentence that breaks the spell. Poor is not a financial status. Poor is a disease of the nervous system. Something clicks, not loudly, like a key turning in a lock you didn't know existed. You start looking at your uncle who blames immigrants for his problems, your cousin who won't apply for better jobs because he's not that kind of person, your neighbor who won the lottery and went bankrupt in 3 years. You realize it's not the money, it's the operating system. You decide to upgrade yours, but you don't tell anyone because you already know what happens. The moment you mention a business idea, they will ask, "What if you fail?" They will never ask, "What if you fly?" That's the poverty mindset protecting itself. It attacks ambition like white blood cells attacking a virus. So you stay quiet. You read at night. You study marketing, sales, human psychology. You become dangerous in silence.
Level 3. The Long Dark. You try something. It fails. You try something else. It fails slower. You are now 3 years into the grind. Your bank account looks like a death certificate. You work a day job you hate to fund a dream no one believes in. You are exhausted in a way that sleep doesn't touch. This is the part they cut from the movies. This is the part where you are 26 years old, eating ramen again, watching your friends buy houses and have kids. They look happy. You look crazy. Your father calls. He doesn't say, "I told you so." He doesn't have to. The silence on the phone is loud enough. He asks if you've thought about a real job. You say you're fine. You hang up. You stare at the wall for an hour. Here is the truth no one tells you. Most people quit here. Not because they are weak, because the evidence says they are right to quit. Every number, every late night, every no confirms the family story. This isn't for people like us. You have a moment, 2 a.m., Tuesday, raining, where you almost believe it. You almost go back. But you don't. Not because you're brave, because the version of you that accepts the coffee can and the broken refrigerator, that person is dead. You killed him 2 years ago. You just didn't bury him yet. So you keep going. You get a little colder, a little more quiet. You stop explaining yourself. Explanation is for people who need permission. You don't need permission anymore. You need results.
Level 4. The First Proof. It's not the million. It's not even close, but it's real. Maybe it's a month where your business revenue hits 5,000. Maybe you pay off a credit card that's been suffocating you for years. Maybe you help a client solve a problem and they cry tears of gratitude. Whatever it is, you feel it. You feel the ceiling crack above your head. You want to call your mother. You do. You say, "Mom, things are starting to work." She says, "That's nice, honey. Don't get too excited." And you realize she can't see what you see. She has never seen it. Her brain was trained to fear hope because hope leads to disappointment. You forgive her in that moment, but you also understand you are walking alone now. You take that first win and you pour it back into the machine. You don't buy a watch. You don't lease a car. You buy more education. You buy assets. You become obsessed with something your family never valued: velocity. Money must move. It must work. It cannot sit in a coffee can in the dark.
Level 5. The Crossing. It happens on a Tuesday afternoon. No music, no applause. You are checking your accounts like you've done 1,000 times, and the number crosses. 7 figures. Liquid. Yours. $1 million. You close the laptop. You open it again. You check the math 3 times. It's not a glitch. It's real. You are the first person in your bloodline, going back generations of farmers, factory workers, cashiers, to have a comma in your net worth that actually means something. You sit in the silence for a long time. You think about your grandmother who hid cash in the freezer. You think about your father who said, "Must be nice." You think about every dinner where the conversation died because someone mentioned money. And you realize you didn't just earn $1 million. You rewired a family line. You pick up the phone to call your mother. You don't tell her the number. What would you say? "Mom, I have more money than you've seen in your entire life combined." That's not a gift. That's a grenade. So you say, "I'm doing okay." She says, "That's good." You hang up. You cry for 12 minutes. Not from happiness, from the loneliness of arriving at a destination no one in your family even knew existed.
Level 6. The Wait. Now the real work begins. You go home for Christmas. The same house. The same slightly burned coffee. Your uncle makes a comment about rich people being out of touch. He doesn't look at you when he says it, but everyone looks at you. The air changes. You are no longer just family. You are the rich one. And being the rich one is a lonely country. Your friends start acting strange. One of them asks to borrow $5,000. He doesn't call it a loan. He calls it helping a brother out. You say no. You lose that friend. Another friend starts making jokes about how you got lucky. You smile, but you remember the 2 a.m. nights, the ramen, the fear. There was no luck. There was only stubbornness. And then there's the guilt. The guilt is the heaviest. You watch your mother still clip coupons. You could write a check that changes her life forever. But you know if you do, something breaks between you. She raised you to be self-sufficient. If you save her, you steal her pride. So you sit in that tension. You learn to carry it. This is the price of being first.
Level 7. The floor becomes the ceiling. Here is what no one understands about being the first millionaire in your family. You are not just managing money. You are managing history. Every decision you make echoes forward. If you lose it all, you don't just fail yourself. You confirm every fear your family ever had about ambition. You become a cautionary tale. See, we told you, people like us can't keep it. If you keep it, you have to teach your children how to hold it. And you have no teacher. You are the teacher. You have to build an architecture of wealth, trusts, education, values from scratch. You have to make sure your kids don't become spoiled, but also don't become fearful. You have to give them the fire without the trauma. That's the real job. The coffee can is gone. In its place is a brokerage account. The broken refrigerator is gone. In its place is a home that doesn't leak. But the ghost of that old life is still here. It whispers to you sometimes. It says, "Don't forget where you came from." And you don't. But you also don't let it tell you where you can go. You are the first. That means you are the map. That means you are the permission slip for every cousin, every nephew, every child in your family who will look at you and think, maybe I can too. You didn't just break a ceiling. You removed it. They will look up now and see open sky. They will assume that's normal. They will never know the years you spent with your head pressed against the invisible glass, bleeding, pushing, refusing to accept that people like us have limits. That's the gift, not the $1 million, the open sky. And now you carry it, not as a burden, as a responsibility. You wouldn't trade it for an easier life, because an easier life wasn't the goal. The goal was to change the starting line for everyone who comes after you. You did that. You're the first. Don't waste it.